Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/JustNoMil. In today's episode, MIL seems to have missed the point. FMIL who knows I'm not changing my name gives me MS to Mrs. Merch. I can't stand my MIL. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. MIL seems to have missed the point. I have been NC with MIL for months now and DH is LC. We removed her from a photo sharing album of LO, and DH told her if she wants to see any photos she needs to fix things with me. She hasn't attempted to fix anything, of course, and claimed her health was more important and she needed to put herself first, etc. So anyway, she texted DH asking about our daughter and said that she looks happy and healthy from the photos she's seen. I am seeing red. DH's grandparents don't know what's going on because we're trying to keep them out of it and they're not really good with technology, so we weren't concerned. But it seems like MIL has found a way to these photos through them. She completely ignored the reason she was removed and found a way around it. And then pretty much stupid enough to tell us. Telling DH's grandparents isn't an option right now, they are old and have enough on their plates. We also don't feel right asking them to not do it anyway because they are honestly the sweetest people and don't want them having issues with MIL/FAL over it. So, is there any way we can actually deal with this? Get rid of the photo sharing album. Tell grandparents that you don't know what happened, but you will fix it when you get a chance. If people want photos they can see your child or ask you, then you get to decide who sees what. Shut it completely down and when asked say it was hacked so we will no longer be posting online. No other details. Then show people the photos when you visit them. Don't pass them on. You could then set it up for people you trust. Unfortunately, there's a country barrier, so to show his grandparents we'd need to actually send the photos. How about shutting down the digital photo album entirely and instead mail DH's grandparents a single print photo once every 2 or 3 months? Send the first one with a refrigerator frame that they can easily slide new photos into. I guess no pictures for anyone then, at least not digitally. Have you considered it wasn't stupidity but MIL purposely told your DH to twist the knife? A little fool moment. See son, I am still in charge and will not respect you. This is exactly how I took it. I mean, why else would she say it, right? Ugh. This was a complete and total power play. These are the exact words I used with DH. I feel crazy for thinking it, but I can't see it any other way. Ignore her. NC is NC. She was gloating about what she did. Does MIL live close to the grandparents? If not, then mail physical photos to the grands. Blame their lack of tech knowledge, or say you thought they'd like a physical copy for a photo album. Hell, send them an album and promise to fill it. Even if MIL lives close, she'll have to make an effort to see the pics. Also, write cute messages on the photos. Write updates or share stories or have LO write or their handprint. A sticker on the back of the photo will keep the writing from damaging the picture. This way, they won't be tempted to give up any photos to MIL, because they will be specifically personalized for the grandparents. This is a great idea. I might get my kids to do this for me, LOL. MIL not only found a way to get around your boundaries, she made sure to rub it in your face. If you don't want to put the grandparents in the middle, you are going to have to also remove them from the shared photo album and send them individual photos on a more restricted timeline. FMIL who knows I'm not changing my name gives me MS to Mrs. Merch. Hi. My FMIL keeps giving me MS to Mrs. Stuff, and I am not changing my name. The first thing was on the day of our engagement, a future Mrs. shirt, originally got a Mrs. Fiance's last name but fiance quashed it. I made it clear to her that I'm not changing my name. For my bridal shower, she went off registry and got something custom, slippers that say Mrs. Fiance's initial, in a bag that said MS to Mrs. and a card, MS to Mrs. that says I can't wait to see you wear these on your wedding day, and announcing to the group at the shower she's going to wear these when she gets ready. My fiance says that this is normal, doesn't mean anything, and the card and bag are just cute. He has heard I'm not changing my name, but rarely mentions it. I'm annoyed. Am I overreacting? Is this common? Should I wear the slippers? Is it rude not to? This is not cute or even forgetful. She is showing you that she does not approve of your choice. Once you get married, she will start sending you cards addressed as Mrs., her last name, and introducing you that way to others, which will make it harder for you to maintain your identity. Your fiancé needs to deal with this yesterday. He needs to tell her that calling someone by their name is a matter of respect, and she is not showing you respect by using his last name, which is not yours. You need to call her out in the moment every time, or your married name will stick with others. Then you need to follow up your warning with consequences. Either return the shirt and slippers to her or donate them and tell her after the fact. Send a clear message that they will never be worn by you. Tell her that any future gifts, packages, cards, etc. sent to you but with your husband's last name will be RTS or discarded. My fiancé says that this is normal, doesn't mean anything. So, he knows it's not great, but expects you to just ignore her attempts to set the rules for how you will conduct yourself. She is telling you that she calls the shots in your life, even down to your identity. It means everything. I think drawing these conclusions might be going a little far regarding a gift of slippers. Honey, you've got a huge fiancé problem. Is he putting as much energy into changing his mom than he is to change you and accept this horrible treatment and disrespect towards you as normal? Because it certainly raised red flags for me. Just rewrap them and give them to her for Christmas. After all, she is the only Mrs. X, she should have some customized sleepers to reflect that fact. Who in their right mind thinks it's okay for the future mother-in-law to dictate any part of their future daughter-in-law's wardrobe ever? Much less on their wedding day? I wouldn't even say this is passive-aggressive. She isn't being subtle about her wants at all. Keep the slippers and gift them to her for Christmas. Wait, I love regifting to her, the real MRS.SO, and so? It's rude and passive-aggressive. Especially announcing to your whole shower that you'd be wearing them. I wouldn't address it and just don't use them. If she says anything on your wedding day, tell her you thought it was a joke because surely she understood by now that you weren't changing your name, so why would you wear/use them? Honestly, why people care about things like this is so weird. I didn't change my name when I got married BC. Honestly, my husband's last name is awful. It's hard to say, hard to spell, and mine was easy and normal. I didn't want to deal with it. Eventually, I did change it when I had kids BC. I didn't want to deal with having a different last name than them. But to show you how annoying his name is, when we were in the Social Security office to do the paperwork to change my name, the guy doing it was like, "Wow, you should have changed your last name to hers." It was a gratifying moment, lol. Do not wear those slippers unless you want to. It is your wedding. She's clearly being manipulative. Buy him a pair of slippers with your last name, Mr., your last name. He thinks is cute, then it'll be cute for him too. I symbolically call my husband by my last name, which he has no problem with. I can't stand my MIL. Hey guys. Just a little vent. It's a long story, but I know I'm in the right subreddit for this, at least. About 2 years ago, I was battling postpartum depression and my in-laws couldn't handle the fact that my husband stepped up his parenting game to let me recover. FIL screamed in my face about what a terrible mother and wife I was, told me to never ever consider having a second child. We struggled with fertility issues and had a very late pregnancy loss before my son was born, which contributed to my PPD, because he said I couldn't handle the one kid I already have. My MIL took me aside after that and implored me to seek help for my autism. I was very confused and told her I have PPD, not autism. She gave me a look of utter confusion, said, "Well, I didn't know that," and then went on to ask me to seek help for autism nonetheless. Sigh. They haven't asked for forgiveness, and I've gone NC with both of them on social media. We've visited them a few times after the incident nonetheless, and my MIL is just extremely passive-aggressive with me all the time through small gestures and comments. They're both seemingly very annoyed that I won't just forgive them, so according to them I'm now the problem because I'm holding on to this grudge of mine. Again, sigh. Anyway, we just came home from a visit over the weekend and I feel like my recovery has taken several steps back because it's just so horrible being in the same house where they humiliated me like that. MIL's passive-aggressive behavior, in a nutshell, she'll do something that's technically nice, but in a way that makes it clear it's a jab. Like, she'll give my kid a gift, very nice, but it's a toy that makes obnoxious, loud noise. We've specifically asked them not to give us toys that make noise. Our son is 4 and loves to press buttons, especially if they make noise and we have a small baby who will wake up. She'll buy us breakfast food, very nice, but make sure to only get ham and nothing else, I'm Jewish. Stuff like that. It's all these small things that would make me look extremely petty if I complained. My anxiety has been spiking and I'm having a really hard time right now. Here's to hoping we don't have to see her in a very long time again. ETA. I was the one who pushed for us to go there this weekend. My husband would be happy to go and see if I asked. He won't let me try to push my boundaries again. If you only want to comment about where my so was in this, please, for my sake, refrain from doing so. I promise you guys that I'm very happy with how he's handling this. If having grandparents for your kids is any part of the motivation of continuing to talk to people who are cruel to you, the below perspective may be useful. Otherwise, please feel free to ignore. Both sets of my grandparents were terribly cruel to my mom and kind to me growing up. I cut them off as an adult. I didn't invite them to my wedding. This is because it hurt me to watch my mother be verbally attacked as a child, and I don't need grandparents more than I need my mother to be comfortable. I also have lingering resentment towards my parents for putting us all in stressful situations just so I could have grandparents. You say you were the one who pushed for the visit to happen, but then you say your anxiety has spiked by being in the house where they humiliated you. You are the one causing this situation. Husband is supportive of you, so stop going to IL's house, period. You do not need to forgive anyone who hasn't asked for forgiveness. And your examples of MIL's PA is very clear that she is, in fact, just being rude and boundary stomping. If husband is willing to deal with his parents on his own, let him. Do you really want your children to see their grandparents treating their mother so terribly? No relationship with grandparents is better than a terrible one. Let me get this straight. Your husband allowed his parents to treat you like this and still allows them around you and your children? You have a husband problem. I don't care how much he stepped up, which he doesn't deserve an award for, he is literally just doing his job as a parent. He has allowed his family to abuse you. Throw the whole family out. As far as stepping up, that was literally what he was supposed to do. He should be stepping up to his parents when they buy ham for his Jewish wife to eat. That's what he should be doing. Honey, they have treated you with immense cruelty. They are still treating you like shit. Why are you even still visiting them? And why force their presence onto you and your son? Why are you pushing to visit them? Like, your husband is supporting going NC and instead you're deliberately putting yourself in harm's way to see them. For what? This. You do not owe them anything. You do not have to go stay with them. They do not deserve a relationship with your children until they apologize to you. Stop forcing the relationship. They are awful people. Hubby is cool with going NC. Stop seeing, speaking to, having any kind of relationship with them. If your husband is supporting NC, it's hard to understand why you are still subjecting yourself to this. I am not being judgmental, just curious. It took me 25 years to realize that no matter how much I wanted it and no matter how much I tried, my MIL was never going to like me. After 26 years, I gave myself permission to stop trying. I wish I had realized in my 20s that you can't make someone love you, even if you are related or they are supposed to. This sounds like a leopard eating their own face deal. Stop insisting that you go over there, let him go and see and bring his family, which is you guys, not his parents, with him. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.